Hey guys, welcome back to A Story with Rory. I'm your host, and tonight we have a very special guest with us. His name is Brian, and he has an awesome story that he would like to share. Hey Brian, how's it going?
Hey, how you doing today, Roy?
Pretty good. So I guess go ahead and just tell us your story from the beginning, and we'd all love to hear it.
Uh, First of all, I've farmed in northern Missouri for most of my life. Years and years, I've been on farms working them. And I was driving my wife to work one morning at about 3:45 in the morning. Um, it was fall. It was just about harvest season because the corn was all dried and just about ready to come out. And something come out of a cornfield in front of my pickup, and I thought it might be a deer coming out of the corn. And I hit my brakes, and this animal, I really can't. I've never seen nothing like it before. Only thing I can describe it as is it was a bipedal, ape-like human kind of creature. A Bigfoot, a Sasquatch. I don't know. Everybody has a name for them, but um, it ran in front of my truck, and we got a real good look at it from the chest down. My headlights did not go above its chest, so I never did get to see the head at all.
Oh dang!
But definitely a bipedal animal. And what was so impressive about it, this thing came across probably 10 or 15 yards out of a cornfield down a little hill, and had a ditch to cross. It crossed that ditch into the gravel road I was on,
Uh huh.
made one more stride, and then went across another ditch and up a hill, and then went over a fence and was just gone. And it was just unreal how probably 2 to 3 seconds, the whole
Yeah,
time.
yeah, just like a flash, kind of.
But
That's crazy.
you know, I've been in the woods my whole life, and I've never seen anything like that. And my wife, actually, who's here too, she saw it, and I didn't say anything for a few minutes, and then she turned around and looked at me, and she said, "That was on two legs, wasn't it?" And I said, "Yes." I don't know what it was.
Dang.
And so we talked about it, and this is the first time we have ever publicly spoken about that at
Oh
all.
wow.
We have, well, uh,
Yeah.
besides our really close family and friends, you tell that
Right.
story, and people are like, "Yeah, they were probably crazy or drunk or something." So we
Right.
really haven't ever told that story.
I'm honored to hear it, to be one of the first people that, it's not related to you, to hearing it. So,
But yeah, the only people that's ever heard that was our very close friends and our relatives. This is the first time I've ever discussed it openly.
dang.
But it was, I've camped in Colorado for weeks and weeks elk hunting and fishing. I've been in the Smoky Mountains, you know, fishing and hunting for weeks and weeks.
Mhm.
I've never come across nothing like that. It was definitely a totally different animal.
You said that was in Missouri?
Yes, that was in northern Missouri.
Dang. That's wild stuff. I mean, when you're driving at 3 in the morning, did you just wake up and drive too?
No, it was my last year. I retired, and it was my last year of work. And our schedules worked out really good. My wife went to work at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I
Mhm.
had to be at work at 5. So I'd take her to work, and then I'd drive to work. And then at the end of the day, I could either pick her up, or there was a girl that lived pretty close to us. I'd give her a ride home. So it worked out really good for our schedules.
Right, right. That's cool. I mean, yeah, that's it's kind of one of those things, like when you drive late at night, sometimes when you see something you think, "Oh, I'm just tired," or whatever, but no, you guys both spotted something that was bipedal,
Right.
hairy, and the speed that it moves at is the same speed that all these other stories line up with, that
And it was
uh
smooth. It
yeah,
wasn't like it
just
wasn't like
fluid.
jumping. It was like
Hmm.
very graceful, smooth. It's hard to explain, but it was
Right.
pretty amazing.
Yeah, it was probably like watching a, train just come in front of you real quick and it's gone. It's just
Yeah.
that's nuts. Like that's wild. So what did you guys do right after? What did you guys do right afterwards?
Well, we went to work and made our money. No,
Right.
we discussed it for a little bit, but it was really one of them things we both just kind of like, what did we really just see? Did I see
Hmm.
that what I thought? I mean, it really kind of took me by surprise.
Right. Was there any sounds, anything like that, like breaking
Absolutely
branches,
not.
just quiet as can
Absolutely
be?
nothing. Yeah, there was nothing. But uh, that area where we lived at, it's actually Clinton County, Missouri. And
Hmm.
I looked up the BFRO, and there had been several reports of the same thing at that time. So I wasn't the only person, and my wife wasn't the only person that seen that.
Right. Man, that's that's wild stuff. Okay, I know. I think there's a lot of people out there that just wish that, they saw a Bigfoot, or I want to see a Bigfoot, or, like be close next to one. But I'm like, I think if you were actually close next to one, like I think you'd have a different story because from what I hear, they're kind of terrifying. And just from my own story, it was probably the most terrifying thing I've ever, encountered. So,
Right. And I will say, uh, it wasn't like giant, huge, like I really thought it would be, but it was probably like at around the 7 foot mark, right?
hmm.
But its chest looked like a big Jack Daniels barrel. I mean, it had a big old chest on it.
Hmm.
It was, and fast, dude. I just can't tell you how fast it was. There ain't no way you could ever outrun something like that. I mean, it was fast.
Right. I have seen some other videos of it's like a couple in Colorado. They were driving their SUV and one, I guess they had a backup for something and they're looking in their backup camera and this thing, just like you're talking, runs right across the backup camera. And it was like that. It was just smooth fluid, just, but giant. You could only see his waist.
Yep.
And a
Poof,
lot of those
and gone.
backup cameras, they shoot up to like pretty high in the air. I mean, your visibility
Right.
is, as high as the camera will go. But yeah, that's just it sounds just like that.
Yeah.
So
But it was quite an experience. Like I said, it's I've never had anything before or after like that. Um,
right,
we have heard strange howls, but I really don't know what they are. They're not anything I've ever heard. But that was
right,
just and it's always in the late fall, like coming into winter. Always the same time of year.
right. I have a theory that like Bigfoot actually migrate at certain times of the year, just because in like the Oklahoma region and Texas region, we'll get in the fall time. That's when we get a lot of activity, and I think that's because it actually migrates south for the winter. Because I mean, up there in Washington and northern like Canada and all that, I mean, it just gets brutally cold. But
Yeah,
down here it gets cold, but it's not near as
not like that. No.
severe. Yeah. So, and I mean, I know that supposedly Bigfoot has like a heat signature of a really high signature, and that 32 degrees to us is like absolutely freezing, but to him it's like probably it feels like 70.
Right, right.
It's not the same. But yeah, that's a man, that's a wild story, Brian. I I kind of envy you to like see something like that someday, but at the same time I'm kind of like I don't want to be terrified either. So
No, I
but
I actually
yeah.
kind of look at it like a pretty good experience. It was, uh, since that's happened, we went to the North American Bigfoot Convention. I've went to the Falk, South Arkansas, down where the legend of Boggy Creek. I've got
Hmm.
to see all the places all that was filmed.
Oh
It's
wow.
been a pretty cool adventure. Since then, I've kind of really became a big believer.
Yeah. Yeah, I was a skeptic too at first, and the more you research stuff and the more you have an encounter something like that, it completely changes your point of view. So
Yeah, it definitely does, brother. It definitely does.
Okay, well, Brian, I mean, I appreciate your story and that your encounter that you experienced, because it 100% lines up with just about every other encounter that I see when I hear someone that sees one that was moving and going through the forest or whatever. Like, it's the same, like the same way they tell the story is the same, and these people don't know each other. So that
Right.
just tells you right there that there's a lot of truth to this that really needs to be uncovered. So yeah, I mean, thank you for being on the show. I was glad to have you, and um, I don't hope you see another one face to face, but
Yeah, if
uh,
I do, I do. It's all good.
there's always
Like I said, it
possibilities
wasn't,
out there.
yeah, it wasn't really that scary of a deal, but it's something that really makes you kind of step back and think, what is really out there? There's things out there that we don't know. You know,
Right, right. Cool,
I
cool. Well,
appreciate you having me on the show, bud.
yeah, if you haven't, and I'm not affiliated with this channel at all, but there is a channel called Confessionals or whatever, and the name of the episode is, and I'll send you a link. It's called something in the LBL, like terror in the LBL, and it's these two law enforcement officers that have this hunting trip experience, but it's 2 hours long. But I'm telling you, it is absolutely incredible. I listened to it the other day, and I was blown away. But I'll send you the link to that, and I just appreciate having you on the show.
Oh, thank you very much. It was my honor.
Hey guys, thanks for joining the story with Rory. Until next time, see you guys later, and we're out.